If you think the cost of tickets not changing at Walt Disney World means that the cost of your vacation is not changing, well, think again. And yes, those vacation tickets likely to increase later this year or in 2025. But for now, folks, we're here to tell you that a good time costs way, way more, and it comes down, in some part, in large part, to dining. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Pro Channel. We are so overjoyed to have you here with us and honor every single time we get to share time with you. Coming to you from somewhere sunny USA, we've got a report that we've been wanting to do for quite a while, and there's just been so much breaking news that we have not been able to get to it, but it's so important for folks out there to know, and we think you're going to enjoy this video of pure excellence. Not sure Disney will, but that is what we have to do here, is report the news. We give them credit when they get inside out to over $1 billion, and we say what we have to say when they're doing poorly in other areas. I want to first show you folks out there that this is not a story that is simply some small niche kind of report that no one should care about. No. This is being carried all over the place. Deadline had this out. Walt Disney World food prices have quote unquote significantly outpaced inflation. That was a report. Disney Clips Guy over here with 26,000 views on X. Good morning, friends. I love the characters at Chef Mickey's breakfast, but is it really worth the money? $54 per adult for breakfast and $66, I think there's a mistake here, $54 per child, I'm going to assume. No, it's correct. $54 per adult for breakfast and $66 per adult for dinner is too rich for my blood. Glad I did it when it was a little cheaper. Have a great day, folks. Now, of course, Chef Mickey's is the buffet at the Contemporary Resort. Chef Mickey's not known for excellent food. We're talking about Golden Corral, Ryan's, maybe a little bit, above that. But it's all-you-can-eat buffet, and it's not Boma. It is not Ohana's. It is, you're paying for the characters, $66 for adults. You're talking about, for a family of 4, 2 adults, 2 kids, easily a $200 bill there. That's not including gratuity, so we can understand why that's a problem. It's also been shared on the New York Post. Walt Disney World food prices have soared 61% in the last 10 years. So let's figure out, where does this come from? What is this story? And is it real? How much do you need to set aside for a dining budget at Walt Disney World? Well, here's what I've got for you, folks, and I'm going to give you some advice, too, by the end of the video on how, if you choose to go to a Disney park this year, how you can save significant money on dining. This is out of Finance Buzz. This is, I think, where this all originates, to the best of my knowledge. It says, Disney inflation, how prices have changed for iconic Disney snacks. Finance Buzz compared the prices of popular menu items at Walt Disney World to prices from a decade ago to find out how much more visitors must pay for beloved snacks. Oh, the turkey legs are going to cost more. I just feel it. The Dole Whips are going to be draining your wallet. I just feel it. Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida is a dream destination for many. Millions of people visit the most magical place on earth every year. But a Disney vacation is expensive, with both expected and hidden costs that drive up many families' overall budget. Hello, Genie Plus. We're looking at you. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean single and multi-lightning lane, or whatever that's going to be. Theme park tickets and buying food at the resort are some obvious costs associated with the Disney trip, and fans may be surprised to find out how much prices for those things have risen recently. By the way, I just want to say as we get into this, Josh Cobert and Mindy Woodall, what a fantastic article. What a fantastic job. Here are the key findings. The prices for food favorites at Walt Disney World have inflated 61% over average over the last 10 years. The cost of food at Walt Disney World has inflated more than the cost of a single park ticket, which has risen by 56%, and Walt Disney World food prices have significantly outpaced the rate of actual inflation at 32%. Now, the one thing I would say here is that I think grocery prices overall have outpaced what is called actual inflation, and I don't buy actual inflation, not for a second, because it's government data that's, in my estimation, engineered to make the government look better. So it's probably outpaced that. Still, I think Disney food prices have outpaced even grocery inflation that you might see at the grocery store. Remember, the dollar menu is now the $5 menu. In another 4 years, it might be the $10 value menu. Who knows? So to some degree, I do feel sorry for Disney in this one because I don't think that Disney has much control over this. Whereas your fast food places buy at such huge, massive degrees of bulk that they can kind of keep their prices in check, even if they are out of control. Still not as much as Disney. Disney has a harder time here. Yes, they're needing food at huge quantities, but it's not at that gargantuan quantity of like McDonald's or these other major restaurant chains. And so Disney's sort of in the middle. And on top of that, Disney has prided itself in serving higher level ingredients, and those are going to suffer from inflation at a higher level than cheaper foods, right? So if Disney is purchasing Whole Foods and some of these other fast food chains, and we're not naming any in particular fast food chain, but if the fast food chains are purchasing ultra processed foods tend to stay at a lower inflation rate. All right, so how have prices changed for the iconic Disney foods? Let's take a look at this. And I'm not saying, by the way, that all Disney foods are whole foods and not ultra processed. There's plenty of ultra processing going on at Disney. All right, so the Sana bread service has increased by 120%. Corn dog nuggets, 116%. And this is one of those where maybe there's a story behind it, but come on, corn dog nuggets should not be increasing that much. Corn dog nuggets are essentially highly processed, very low quality sausages covered in dough. Sorry, I don't see that either of those ingredients has increased dramatically. If this was some sort of high-end fish, perhaps, or high-end protein, you could pull me along. It's not even poutine. Park tickets have increased by 91%. Of course, that is ultra high in terms of increase over inflation. And so we complain about that, but it's the hidden things that get people in the wallet. The Mickey ice cream bar has increased 63%. Dole Whips have increased 58%. Churros, which are fried dough, 54%. So again, I can't feel sorry for them on the churro. It's literally fried dough. Epcot fish and chips increase of 50%. That's one where, again, I can see where Disney would be stuck. The cod, I believe, is what they use for the fish at Epcot. That's gonna increase outside of Disney's control. Fried dough, on the other hand, sorry. Mickey pretzel, 42%. Turkey leg and hot dogs have increased 39%. So there is that increase. That does actually seem to be sort of in line with the proteins that are being served. Actual inflation is up 32%. For whatever reason, Mickey waffles have only increased 30%. And the park ticket low end has increased 21%. Now, what is the difference in the park ticket high end and the park ticket low end? Well, the park ticket high end is on those very busy days that Disney expects when they're going to charge you the most possible for a ticket. Because remember, ticket prices are variable through the year. The park ticket low end has actually decreased, right? In terms of, if you look at 2019, it's holding steady or below the inflationary movement upwards. How can that be? Well, it's because the park ticket low end happens like 2 or 3 days out of the year and essentially is a marketing ploy. So Disney can say, hey, we haven't increased our ticket prices, because they can point to those 2 or 3 days of the year when the ticket sits at whatever amount they want for their marketing purposes. That's my opinion on it. All right, it says, most egregious among Disney food inflation is the bread service at Sana, a restaurant in Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge. The bread service is a beloved meal for many Disney fans, but it's also had a bigger price increase than any other food item we looked at. Talks about it increasing from $10 to $22. Disney disinflation, though. Mickey waffles are the one beloved snack that has actually seen prices stay below the rate of real-world inflation. The waffles are just 30% more expensive today than they were in 2014. Maybe they had a ton of those in stock. Of course, many beloved Disney World treats are smaller, still relatively affordable items that visitors can grab on the go. People planning a Disney trip might prefer to see how the actual price tag has changed for these items rather than the percentage increase. And you can see that it has here listed out those same items that we just looked at. There are some more specific items here. For example, the Casey's Corner all-beef hot dog, which was just listed as hot dog above, has gone from $7.79 in 2014 to $10.79 in 2024, $3 difference. And then it gives you some tips on how to save money. I will say, folks, that at the sit-down restaurants now, what I'm hearing basically is that if you're going not to a quick service restaurant at Disney, but just into a typical, Tony's Town Square at Magic Kingdom, or you're going to go sit at the Yak and Yeti at Animal Kingdom. We could come up with a bunch of these. And by the way, Yak and Yeti is run by a third party, but for the purposes of simplicity, we'll just go with it. If you're going to go do a sit-down restaurant at Disney World, just expect that you're going to spend $50 per adult. $50 per adult, and you're probably going to spend something like, $30 to $40 for kids. That's what I would go with if I were you. And that's why I'm going to point something very interesting out to you as we give you the tip. Because many of you out there are watching this video because you're planning to go to Disney World. You want to go to Disney World in the future. And I cannot blame you for wanting to go to Disney World. Some of our viewers do not want to go because they don't want to support the Walt Disney Company. But I can't blame anybody for wanting to take their kids to go to the theme parks. In fact, it would be hypocritical of me because as part of our job here, we go to the parks, all the parks, many parks around the world and around the country for comparison's sakes. And, a lot of times the reporters that we have with us bring their kiddos. But if you take a look at this Disney Clips guy talking about the $66 per adult for dinner at Chef Mickey's, well, that's not too far out of a $50 for just a regular sit down. And the amount of caloric intake you can do at a buffet, i.e., folks, what we're talking about here is you can overeat at a buffet, get your fill. It can be that at a buffet, at an all-you-can-eat at Disney, you can get 2 meals worth of calories. And that's really important because buffets, still to this day, seem to be holding lower in terms of inflation than many of the other restaurants. So my suggestion to you out there is that on many of your days of your Disney Parks trip, schedule a buffet either for breakfast or for dinner and try to skip lunch. Besides that, you can skip lunch and you'll save a ton of time because you'll get stuck in those lunch lines when you're at the parks. Now, does that mean, you can't have a snack? Well, of course not. And perhaps you want to bring a snack in with you, but you can grab a snack or whatever. But if you've got a buffet, oftentimes if you eat a late breakfast buffet, that'll hold you out all the way until dinner time. And if you can hold out, through lunch on just a snack and schedule an early dinner at a buffet, you'll have a really good time. Now, I know that buffets are not for everybody, but I'm telling you right now, if money is an issue, this is the strange inverse of what you would expect, right? Buffets should be really expensive, and that would typically be true. But in our wacky world of inflation right now, it turns out that the buffets, if you use them as 2 of your daily meals, turn out to be a pretty darn good deal for you and your family. Folks, that's the story today. Disney World prices in terms of food getting out of control to the point where some families simply cannot even afford to eat at Disney. Don't forget, folks, if you're not staying at the Magic Kingdom that day, it's rather easy to go outside of Disney World and go to Taco Bell, McDonald's, wherever you need to go, whatever your budget will afford, and go enjoy a meal at a price point that is more advantageous for you and your family. Now, if you're at Magic Kingdom, you're rather stranded because it is difficult to get out of Magic Kingdom and get off property and all that and come back. But if you are stuck in Magic Kingdom, you can also always get on the monorail, go to the resorts, and you can stop by some of those cafes. You will find some better deals at the cafes rather than some of the options you have at Magic Kingdom. And then there are some decent deals you can find at Magic Kingdom, like at Columbia Harbor House. So those are the suggestions today, folks. Crystal Palace, Boma, those are going to be some of your better options when it comes to filling up without giving out all of your dough. And by that dough, we mean money, not that fried dough that Disney is charging so much for. Seriously, Disney, get the churros down. Get the churros down. All right, folks, that's the video for today. It's a short one. Only me here in the Somewhere Sunny USA studio, and that's because the Pro Show is coming up shortly. We'll be doing the Pro Show live at noon Eastern if you're watching this video at the time of release on a Tuesday, July 2nd. Of course, we've also got the Acolyte After Party. Cannot wait to party with you, folks. We hear that episode 6 is the worst of the worst of the worst. I don't know. Anyway, all right, folks. On your way out the door, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms, it's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below, let us know your thoughts, and wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Yeah, I am so excited for Independence Day. You can taste the liberty and drink in all that 4th of July freedom.
Why? You're not an American, and you don't live in America. Not to mention, you're a troll, and they're from Norway.
Wait, you're saying that trolls can't have the spirit of America? How do you explain Leslie Headland? That'd also be like saying the Acolyte isn't Star Wars.
Well, I guess it's not bad to not be American and wish for that kind of freedom. But please, don't compare this situation to the Acolyte and it being Star Wars. Nothing's that bad.
Well, gosh darn it. You've given me something new to aim for.